Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Today we are covering the diseases of the Nafs. People have become toxic and have toxins running in them, which is oftentimes worse than how poison is. But why is that happening? Because the nafs is unwell. When the bodily disease runs through the system, we understand that the body is unwell. But what about the spiritual diseases? When the body goes through a disease, what is the maximum that a disease will run its course? It will cause death at maximum. But when the spiritual disease happens, then the destination becomes hell. And this is something that we have to understand, that there are toxins that run through the body that make the person toxic. And this could be spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally, and so on. These toxins have certain ways of coming about, and we will discuss them today, inshallah. Allah has made humans for His ibadah, and for that man must remain in the purest of forms and do ibadah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Very often man wants to go full throttle when he wants to do ibadah, because this gives him a certain kind of comfort. But while he's on that mission, he worries less over removing the dirt from his body. Many people say that you can continue doing ibadah and the dirt will go by itself. But frankly, until enough efforts are made towards the removal of the dirt, it is not possible. First, we need to identify what shortcomings are there. And that is a separate way for you to pinpoint and understand that, okay, this is what is the cause of my destruction, or these are the shortcomings that I have, and you must identify them one after another. And you must focus towards it. You have to give yourself to a spiritual master. You have to give the ropes and the reins to him or her. And then when they say go left, you go left. Go right, you go right. When they say stop, you stop immediately. They ask you to go forward, you go forward. Just like a horse. These are the characteristics of a horse. Similarly, when you get a good shake, and you must give yourself in his hand, your rein, and inshallah that will make you get good islah. Shifa is the biggest concern. For if the shifa has not happened, then nothing really has happened, even if a life has been spent in doing ibadah. The mission of the secret of the heart and islah of nafs is because the nafs is unwell. And when the nafs is unwell, it needs shifa, it needs treatment, it needs a cure. Now we wonder, how does the nafs get cured? For example, a man enjoys music, but he's enjoying it today because the nafs is unwell. When the cure of the nafs has happened, then he won't enjoy it. Shifa of the nafs is an important matter and must be focused towards. And doing that, we should remove the toxins from the body. When the heart goes to the ghair of Allah and we allow the ghair to touch it, the nafs falls ill. And the more you are a slave to your nafs, the more unwell you will become. And this can be seen in several matters. The body has toxins running through it. And these toxins, they get spread throughout the body. For example, when you eat bad food, the nervous system runs toxins through your system. And in a similar way, when you eat junk, or if you're very angry, or if you are displaying bad character to people, all of these are toxins through which the brain runs it throughout the body. And we have to be careful that because of this, the senses should not be the ones that are getting used to spread the toxins throughout the body. The senses absorbs it, it reaches the mind, and then it spreads into the body. When the toxin reaches the mind, it ensures that the toxins are spread well through the body. Junk foods and etc., they're all toxins. What's interesting is that the tongue gets used to these toxins, and the more you do so, the more the toxins will increase. If you increase the amount of talking, if you increase the amount of backbiting, or foods, or abusive language, and so on, you're increasing the overall toxins in your body. Which is why silence is said to be better. Which is why a strong control over food is supposed to be better. Your tongue is connected with a lot of toxins. The biggest tool of spreading toxin in the body is through the tongue. It could be through what you talk, it could be through what you eat, it could be through what reaches the stomach, through the tongue, etc. We have to be careful, and we have to try and protect our system from the spreading of toxins, and save it from dirt, save it from all kinds of dirty habits and dirty surroundings, and even dirty people, toxic people. You must spot them, that there are people who enjoy doing ghibat, there are people who enjoy calling you towards the wrong things. These are toxic people. There are people who enjoy abusive language, who are harsh, and so on. One of the beautiful things about Sheikh Ahmed Hasan Sahib Rahmatullah Alayhi was that when somebody would come to him, and he would patiently listen, or with a lot of focus listen, to the first subject that the man was talking about, for which he had come to him. He would listen to it with full intent and focus. But as man is used to getting into different topics, once he starts to talk, Sheikh would move his focus away. So it's just for the first part that he was intently listening, but after that he's not with that intent and with that focus, which is a great thing, because otherwise there's no end to it. Well, one of the other beautiful things about the Sheikh was that he would anyways speak throughout the day maybe 10 or 15 things. So we must make dua that Allah give us this beautiful characteristic, just as Sheikh Ahmed Hasan Sahib Rahmatullah Alayhi. We have to get focused towards the shifa of the Nafs. For if that does not happen, then the diseases of the Nafs will overcome us. Now I'm going to enlist a few things through which we can understand how the diseases of the Nafs take over us and what exactly happens. When the diseases of the Nafs take over, first point is he or she cannot think correctly. Number two, They often commit mistakes and make blunders in performance. Their mind is full of negativism. Not only wrong thoughts develop in their mind, but also wrong understandings of matters. This is a common sign amongst the disobedient people of Allah. Instantly they observe others' flaws and weaknesses and conjure an ill feeling and image of others. This is prominent in their mind. Point number 6. They are quick attacking, revengeful, and react quickly to situations. May Allah protect us from this. Point number 7. They do not excuse or forgive others for their faults. Point number 8. In every matter, they put their own demands ahead of others. Point 9. They are arrogant and want everybody to be humble and show reverence towards them. Point 10. If they are spiritual, they are people of spiritual arrogance. Point 11. If their ego or nafs is hurt, they retaliate like animals. Point 12. The hearts of such people become like stones. Their tears dry up and are devoid of dindari. Point 13. Their body is immersed in such ghafla that they will not be ready to carry out responsibilities. Rather will opt to eating more junk foods that precipitates more laziness and ghafla. Point 14. You must identify your flaws and shortcomings and counter them until they are removed. The Ummah of Prophet ﷺ are weak and have little knowledge to deal with this dunya and akhirah. So we are obliged for moral reasons to deal with them with utmost kindness, generosity and love. In the process, if our ego is hurt or are inflicted with pain and sufferings, duly bear them and forgive them, inshallah. While dealing with women, recall to your mind two things. One, very often their foolishness remains hidden in the back of their mind. And two, an arrow is hidden in their tongue so that any moment they can hurt your heart with either of the two. Allah has designed women in a way that they are used towards the reformation of the husband. They may be pious, but will be used to eradicate our evils in the nafs. When they hurt your ego and nafs, do not retaliate. Rather increase your patience and show kindness and often forgiveness. Inshallah, they will cure the spiritual diseases of you. It may appear as though it is their ignorance and foolishness, and yet many people attain great heights in spirituality, but the training ground was the women's misbehavior. So beware and ever prepared for their strikes. Point 16 is that food is man's adversary, so come to terms with it carefully. It can make your life difficult. When delicious food is placed before you, a strong willpower is your only recourse to stop after consuming a little. It bears significant Point 17 is that it bears significant importance to say that we are not angels and we have necessities and halal desires. So when they appear, Allah's commands will also follow. Keeping those commands in mind, fulfill them according to the commands of Allah and the Sunnah of Prophet ﷺ. But if you're in violation of them, be sure to notice unhappiness and lack of barakah. The heart must be allowed of two things. Point number 1, the moment any wrong appears before you, immediately reject it. And the moment a good intention comes to your heart, accept it and act on it. When we remain fearless or in ghafla about Allah or careless about shaitan, suddenly we face a test from Allah or an adverse situation from shaitan that directly affects our nafs and desires. Yani nafsani khwahish, which often creates a lot of turbulence in the body. Particularly in these situations, one must fulfill Allah's commands and the Sunnah of Prophet ﷺ steadfastly. The mind must be alert towards these things. Don't destroy yourself by fulfilling your desires. Don't be lazy and ghafil towards fulfilling responsibilities. If Allah chooses to make your life miserable, He will surround you with foolish, ignorant, and arrogant men and women. Their talks and acts of foolishness and ignorance are sufficient to make your life difficult. Lead your life with dignity, honor, and remain happy and cheerful at all times. I have also realized that many of our hearts are devoid of pure deen, iman, yaqeen, and taqwa. Not even an inch remains in our hearts. And one of the gravest crimes in our life is the wastage of time. And when the gates of thoughts open, many blunders happen. Jazakallahu khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.